All right, so now what we want to do is start a new file so we can import that model that we talked about. And so Revit, this is the splash screen for Revit, and there is a model over here. And basically we want to open up a new model. And I gave you that template file that we saved into the custom templates. And so we want to go and get that and open it. So I'm going to come over here to Model and New. Right? Existing or previously open models will come up here, but we just want to open up a new Revit project. And so when it goes to the new project, it'll give you a default template file. I think I've set mine to default. Yours might be Imperial Multidiscipline, and we'll look at those a little later. But what I want to do is browse, and I'm going to go to the custom library that we made in the places. And then I'm going to go up one level, and I'm going to go up one more level. And that gets me back to the Revit 2024 folder. So if I do that, it's C Program Data Autodesk Revit 2024. And what I want to do is go to my templates folder. And we made that custom templates folder in the first video, and we actually put the template that I made for you in it. So I want you to go there and use that. Notice that it's an RTE file, which means it's a template file, and it's going to open this with all the settings and then give us an option to save it as an RVT file, which is a Revit project file. So this will always be here for you in the future. So you'll see that in a lot of firms. But if I click open and then click OK, because we're going to create a new project, it will open that file. And you'll notice up at the top, it says project 3, right? And so the first thing I'm going to do is go to save. And if I go to save, notice that it's not saving it as an RTE file. It's saving it as an RVT file. And I want to save that somewhere that makes sense. So I'll save it in my A1 folder, and I'll name this A1 working, right? And I'll click save. And so now it's going to save that as a Revit RVT file, having used an RTE file to create a project. So you can make multiple, and you'll see this in firms, they'll have multiple RTE files for various different types of projects. Anyway, a basic introduction to the Revit sort of layout is this is your modeling screen. So right now I'm in a sheet view, which is an opening sheet. This file has been set to do that. And over here is my properties, and over here is my project browsers. Yours may be set up like, let's see if I can get it to, it's a little, I'm traumatized by this, but yours probably has the project browser here and the properties here. I prefer to have mine split. You can also, I think, how do you get it? There's a way to get it to tab itself on top of the other one. I think that's it. So now you have properties and project browser, and you can tab them. Again, I prefer to have my project browser docked over here, right? Which now it's being annoying. Yeah, it's very annoying. Like, usually it will show the little blue thing, but that's a little funky. It's like not showing it, but if I push it over there, it will dock. So anyway, I always find that little process a little annoying. But anyway, you've got your properties over here that show the properties of anything that's selected. Right now it's showing the sheet because nothing's selected. If I pick this title block, it'll show the properties of the title block. Over here is the navigation for this. The way that Revit works is if I go to a south elevation, so looking at it, you know, from the front view, if you're used to Rhino, it has these levels that it uses as floor plans. So you'll see plan A1, A2, A3, and it cuts at 4 feet above that for these plans. So right now there's nothing for it to look at. So basically there's a floor at the 0 level. There's these scope boxes that we use for cropping. And then you can see section cuts and things like that. So basically it's an empty file that we're going to use to insert objects in and work with it. Just some other basic stuff about Revit. There's a ribbon up at the top with tabs. We'll go through and be using these. If you pick something, it will go to modify floors and it will turn green, which means it's a contextual tab that that specifically looks at what you've picked and what you can potentially do to it. If I click off of it, that contextual tab goes away. And if I go to modify, it gives me different sets of tools. At the top up here is a quick access toolbar. So you can use that to access different things. Again, down at the bottom is some design options. These are your view options. So down here is your graphic display, so wireframe shaded. You know, is the sun on or off? Are the shadows on or off? Are you cropping? Are you not cropping? So this controls sort of like what the view itself looks like. The other thing that you may or may not have noticed is that a series of tabs are opening up here at the top. Revit does not close down a view when you open another view. So if I go to my east elevation, it will just add that. Or if I go to my section, it will just add that as well. And so you'll get all of these tabs opening. You can close them by closing the inactive views up here. If you open another Revit file, so I just have this Revit project that I saved, but if I go to File and open one, so I'll open up this guy, it will actually open up another Revit file within the same instance of Revit and just put another tab up here for it. So now I have a whole nother model open in here. You can open up multiple families, models, just keep opening them up within the same instance of Revit. It's not like Rhino, where you go in and open up another instance of Rhino to get another model open. All right, so that's sort of the basics of this right off the bat. We'll come back and import the Rhino